The Cleveland Browns didn't just leak a rumor today, they inadvertently handed us the blueprint to the entire offseason. We thought we knew what this front office was doing. We thought we were just looking at a standard list of candidates and waiting for the dust to settle. But new reports from the deepest circles of the NFL have completely cracked the code, and if you aren't paying attention to the seismic shift happening in Berea right now, you are going to be shocked when the announcement finally drops. The master plan has been revealed, and it changes absolutely everything about where this franchise is headed in 2026. Welcome back to the Browns Report, everybody. I am your host, Joey O'Donnell, and we are going to break down exactly which direction the Browns are leaning because the odds have shifted dramatically in the last 24 hours. But before we dive into this master plan, I have a personal favor to ask you. I need you to smash that subscribe button right now. I have been challenged to a subscriber battle by our rivals over at the Ravens channel. They are currently in a head coaching search just like we are, but their fans are feeling confident they've gained 150 new subscribers this week while we are trailing behind at 98. I don't know about you, but I refuse to lose to Ravens fans in anything. If you are a diehard member of the Dawg Pound, hit that button, turn on notifications, and let's show them who the most loyal fanbase in the AFC North really is. Now, let's get into the news because the first bombshell comes from Mike Florio of NBC Sports, and it concerns the man already inside the building, Jim Schwartz. The narrative around Schwartz has shifted from a courtesy interview to a full-blown dilemma for the front office. Florio is reporting that beyond the obvious message sent by Schwartz getting a second interview, there is a growing sense in some circles that he could indeed be the guy. The Browns are currently weighing the decision to promote him against the terrifying possibility of losing him. This is the chess match Andrew Berry is playing right now. We know the Browns want Schwartz in the building next year. That is non-negotiable. He has to be there. But Florio is telling us that the only way to guarantee he stays might be to give him the big chair. Think about it from their perspective. You can block teams from interviewing him for defensive coordinator jobs, but you cannot block him from head coaching interviews. And if a team like the Ravens, who we know interviewed him, decides to pull the trigger, we lose the architect of our entire identity. Schwartz has risen to the top of the betting odds for a reason. For a week, everyone thought it was Grant Udinski, the young offensive genius. Now, Schwartz is number one. Grant Udinski has fallen to third. And Nate Scheelhaase is climbing fast. And honestly, I get the temptation. I love Jim Schwartz. What he did with this defense in 2025 cannot be understated. We are talking about a team that won only 5 games, a team that had 3 wins until week 17, and yet the defense finished 4th in total yards allowed and 3rd in passing defense. That is absurd. He didn't just coach them, he dragged them to respectability. Even going back to 2023, when he first arrived, he took a struggling unit and made them the number 1 defense in football, allowing only 270 yards per game. The man is a wizard. We have built this entire roster to fit his scheme. We traded for Tyson Campbell because he fits Schwartz's man coverage philosophy perfectly, and Campbell looked like an all-pro compared to his time in Jacksonville's zone scheme. We won that trade. But here is the counter-argument, and this is where the master plan gets complicated. Jordan Schultz, another trusted NFL insider, dropped a report today that says the Browns believe they have a roster filled with young, future stars. The sense inside the building is that their preference, keyword, preference, is to go young. They want an offensive innovator. They want someone who can unlock the next era of football. But the catch is, they don't want to force it. This is the plan the Browns are trying to pull off. They want to hire a young offensive mind like Grant Udinski from the Jaguars or Nate Scheelhaase from the Rams, and then convince Jim Schwartz to stay as the defensive coordinator. Imagine that coaching staff. You get the 30-year-old wunderkind in Udinski running the offense, and the seasoned veteran Schwartz running the defense. That is the dream scenario. But it is a slippery slope. How do you tell Jim Schwartz, hey, thanks for interviewing twice, you're a legend, but we're going to hire a guy half your age to be your boss? Please stay. That is a tough sell. Maybe you make him the highest paid coordinator in NFL history. Maybe you give him $5 or $6 million a year and slap an assistant head coach title on his door. But if egos get in the way, this whole plan blows up. And that is why the report says if they don't love the young candidates, they will default to promoting Schwartz. So, I have to ask you, and this is the question of the day, I want to see the comments section absolutely lighting up on this one. Do you think Jim Schwartz should be the next head coach of the Cleveland Browns? Type Y for yes or N for no. Is he the safe, stabilizing force we need, or is he a retread that limits our ceiling? I'm genuinely curious where you stand because the fanbase seems split down the middle. While you are voting on that, we have to talk about the young guys they are targeting, because the interview process has hit a few snags. The Browns are scheduled to interview Grant Udinski for the second time this Friday. Udinski is the hot name. The Bills want him, the Jaguars are terrified of losing him, and if he crushes this interview, the Browns might just hand him the keys. But then there is Nate Scheelhaase. I am hearing great things about him, but because he is still in the playoffs with the Rams, the Browns literally cannot hire him yet. They haven't satisfied the Rooney Rule requirement for in-person interviews because Scheelhaase is their minority candidate. It is a logistical nightmare. If they fall in love with Scheelhaase, they have to wait. And in the NFL, waiting can get you killed. And speaking of things going wrong, we have had some candidates drop out. Breaking news from Mary Kay Cabot confirms that Jesse Minter, the Chargers' defensive coordinator, has canceled his interview with the Browns today. He's out. Sources say he feels he has more certain opportunities elsewhere, likely with the Ravens or the Raiders. Mike McDaniel also pulled his name out recently. Now, it is easy to panic and say, oh no, nobody wants the Cleveland job. But let's be real. If Jesse Minter wants to go to Baltimore, let him go. We don't want someone who has one foot out the door before they even step inside. If the mutual interest isn't there, I am glad he canceled. It saves us time. But Minter pulling out does narrow the field considerably. It really is coming down to a three-horse race, the veteran Jim Schwartz, or the young guns Grant Udinski and Nate Scheelhaase. Todd Monken is still technically in the mix, but I think he is a distant fourth. The focus is clearly on trying to blend the youth movement with Schwartz's defensive dominance. Now, let's pivot to something that might make every Browns fan smile today. We have to talk about our neighbors to the east, the Baltimore Ravens, and the absolute chaos unfolding with Lamar Jackson. You have to see this to believe it. Earlier today, Lamar Jackson reposted a photo on Twitter. It was a picture of a little kid wearing a Lamar jersey, and the caption read, "My 3-year-old predicts Lamar Jackson is going to the Raiders." Lamar reposted it for all his millions of followers to see. Naturally, the internet exploded. Everyone started freaking out. Is he demanding a trade? Does he hate the new coaching candidates in Baltimore? Is he about to be a Las Vegas Raider? And then, in classic Lamar fashion, he deletes the repost and replies, "LOL, I just posted the kid in the jersey, didn't even read the caption." Come on, Lamar. You haven't posted since January 5th. You mean to tell me you just accidentally reposted a trade rumor involving yourself and the Raiders? I don't buy it. Lamar is a master troll, but where there is smoke, there is usually fire. Remember the contract disputes a few years ago? He plays these games on social media when he is unhappy. If the Ravens are imploding and their franchise quarterback wants out, that opens the door wide open for the Cleveland Browns to take the AFC North. I don't care who our coach is, if Lamar Jackson leaves the division, our path to a home playoff game gets 10 times easier. I will keep you posted on that situation because if he gets traded, we are throwing a party on this channel. Finally, I want to end on a high note because we have some official good news to celebrate. It has been confirmed that Myles, Garrett and Carson Schwesinger are finalists for the Defensive Player of the Year and Defensive Rookie of the Year awards, respectively. We knew this was coming, but seeing it official is special. Carson Schwesinger, what a find. A second-round pick who comes in and drops 156 tackles as a rookie. That is legendary stuff. And Myles Garrett. He broke the single-season sack record. He shouldn't just be Defensive Player of the Year, he should have been an MVP finalist. I know the MVP award is basically a quarterback on a winning team award, but what Myles did this year was historic. I want you to cast your vote right now by liking this video. If you think Myles, Garrett and Carson Schwesinger deserve to bring that hardware home to Cleveland, tap that like button. Let's see if we can get this video to 2,000 likes to show the national media that we support our guys. So, to recap the master plan, the Browns are trying to thread the needle. They want to hire Udinski or Scheelhaase to fix the offense, while paying Jim Schwartz whatever it takes to stay and run the defense. If they can't land the young genius, they will hand the reins to Schwartz and trust the veteran. It is a high-stakes gamble, but if they pull it off, we could be looking at a Super Bowl window opening up. Thank you so much for tuning into this edition of the Browns Report. We are going to be tracking every single flight, every rumor, and every interview until the decision is made. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so we can beat the Ravens in this subscriber battle. We are so close to overtaking them. I've been your host Joey O'Donnell. Stay safe, and as always, go Browns.